Hi, we're going to talk about the argument essay. And before you decide your topic, I want you to fully consider your your interest. And you're going to have to take a bit of brainstorming and research before you find the points you want to argue. But these arguments must be valid. Scientists use arguments to explain their hypotheses. Governmental agencies use them to set policy. Trial lawyers, of course, use argument to decide guilt and innocence. So again, we're originating from a catalyst, and usually a good argument is directed by a strong question. So how do we build these arguments? Imagine a bridge from the writer and the reader, and that bridge acts as the support that the thesis depends upon. So this bridge must be strong, and we use evidence, something we can observe. We use verification, something we can look up, and illustration, something we can imagine to make these claims that support our viewpoint, our argument. So supporting these claims, we need reliable sources. We rely on our personal experiences and convictions, hypothetical examples. But also we can fall privy to these ideas of the reasoning. It's got to be solid. And these, what I'm going to review now are these fallacies in logic. And I'm going to have an essay for you to review. And it has many fallacies in logic. And I want you to find where those holes in the logic may be. So the first logical fallacy is the red herring, and that makes an irrelevant point to divert attention from the main point. For instance, is a technique that grabbed its name from a stinky fish, and a prisoner would use the stinky fish to throw off the authorities from the scent of the pursuit. We also have a Latin term called non sequitur, meaning it does not follow. It's not a logical result of the facts. Professor Smith is a famous chemist, so he will be a brilliant chemistry teacher. Not necessarily, because those 2 points are different. He might be great in the lab, but not so much in the classroom. Then we have post hoc ergo propter hoc. After this, therefore, because of this. And this is where our superstitions come into play. We have a black cat crossing our path and we're in an accident later that day, or we walk under a ladder and something, we have some kind of bad thing happen later. So these superstitions can creep into our quote bridges in our logic. We have the bandwagon appeal, and this is, the basis of most advertising. It validates a point by imitating. That's why perfume companies hire celebrities. If it's going to make me smell and look as good as Beyonce or something. So again, the bandwagon appeal. Avoid it. Ad hominem, and this is attacks a man. And here we are in this political season, and definitely character is being attacked, and we do not want to attack the opposing viewpoint. Also, we have a begging the question, pronounces as a fact without presenting any basis or reasoning for that fact. So it announces a fact without proving it. So here, all useless laws such as Reform Bill XXX should be repealed. Why? Hasty generalizations, insufficient representation or evidence, skewed by a sample. You were bit by a poodle, therefore all poodles bite. No. Avoid biased opinions. You're asking opinion about school sports among athletes. It's going to be skewed. So avoid those hasty generalizations. Ad populum. This is appealing to the people, Latin for to the people, and appeals to emotional reactions. Again, if one is a true American, one would vote against the referendum on flag burning. So again, ad populum, appealing to those radical thinking. Either or. Don't we wish life was that clear? This is assuming there's only two sides to an argument, and we know there's a lot of gray, right? A lot of gray. So if one does not support the war, one does not love the United States. There's some gray area there. And then we have hypostatization, and never fails. Someone's going to use this in their essay. History has shown time and time again, or society reveals, or science has proven. So again, implies one voice, one opinion. Avoid it. Hypostatization. It's hard to say, but it's going to leak into someone's essay. Then we have the straw man, very similar to the red herring, and we deviate by setting up a quote straw man to divert away from actual point at hand. So a famous example was in a vice presidential debate, and President, well, at the time, Richard Nixon was running for vice president, and he said that he was perplexed because why was his daughter being persecuted for for getting a dog, and he diverted attention from the actual question that he was asked, and so he set up a straw man in his daughter and her dog instead of actually answering the question. So again, don't set up a straw man. Present your case. Then we have a faulty analogy, using an extended comparison as proof. For instance, requiring parents to use car seats could also mandate mandatory breastfeeding. That doesn't necessarily follow. Requiring such education in schools is like taking an alcoholic to the bar. No, that's not necessarily valid. So that's a faulty analogy. Then we have a quick fix. Leans too heavily on just something simple. When guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns. It's oversimplified. No catchy phrases, no empty slogans, please. And then, again, there's other sources, other ideas for fallacies in logic, and I will include those page numbers that discuss these fallacies in your textbook. Okay, have fun with that essay.